Like any heavily traveled highway, a heavily traveled railroad requires the highest level of inspection and maintenance to assure safe train movement. Eventually, normal wear and weather creates conditions that require ties and rail to be replaced. Union Pacific Railroad employs the latest track technology in the form of the Track Renewal Train, or TRT 909. Along with approximately 250 construction personnel and support equipment, they make up the Track Renewal Group. In the communities we serve, Union Pacific realizes the importance of being a good, responsible neighbor. Communities along the TRT 909 work sites see a boost in their local economy. Fuel, oils, parts, and maintenance for equipment and vehicles, as well as food, lodging, and other necessities for the workforce, are but a few of the items purchased locally. In addition, it is our intention to leave an area in a better condition than when we arrived, to the betterment of both the Union Pacific and the surrounding communities. The TRT 909 works a single track at a time. In multi-track territory, the adjacent track is left to run train traffic around the TRT. The Track Renewal Train removes the old track and installs completely new track, including ballast, concrete ties, and continuous welded rail, or CWR. Prior to arrival of the TRT 909, the rail distribution train distributes quarter-mile sections of continuous welded rail along the existing track.
The TRT operation is a large group consisting of about 200 people. It takes a lot of cooperation to make sure everything goes smoothly.
Upon arrival of the Track Renewal Group, these strings of rail must be properly positioned in the center of the existing track to be accessed by the in-track welder. Road crossings, bridges, and switches are prepared to minimize delays for the TRT 909.
The in-track welding truck welds the rail ends together to create one continuously welded rail for the TRT.
With the new rail properly distributed, the in-track welder efficiently flash butt welds or fuses the strings into continuous welded rail. After the in-track welder has completed the initial weld, the TRT 909 gets to work. The Track Renewal Train consists of the tie and rail laying machine and a gantry crane system of concrete tie rail cars. These rail cars allow the gantry cranes to move from car to car, carrying new and old ties to and from the cars and the tie laying machine. 3 gantry cranes work in tandem, carrying new concrete ties to the machine and old wooden ties back to the vacated area of the tie cars.
With the process of the TRT being spread out over 8 miles, it's crucial for us to job brief and re-job brief throughout the day to keep everybody on the same page.
Each day, the train starts out with approximately 30 gantry cars, each loaded with either 168 or 210 concrete ties, depending on the car. At the TRT 909, the new continuous welded rail, or CWR, is threaded through a system of rollers that guide it from the center of the track to the outside of the machine. Progressing forward, the machine also removes and picks up the old spikes and anchors. The old rail is lifted from the track and guided out from under the machine, passing over the new rail. The old rail is laid along the track for later pickup by the rail train. With both the old and new rail on the outside of the machine, the old ties are picked up and conveyed to the accumulator platform for access by the gantry crane. The gantry crane delivers a load of new concrete ties and removes a load of the old ties. With the old ties removed, a V-shaped plow moves forward, parting the old ballast, resulting in a clean, smooth roadbed for the new concrete ties. The concrete ties are laid in place and positioned precisely every 2 feet. As the new ties are positioned, the new rail passes through an induction heater, if needed, to heat the rail to its neutral temperature, determined by the geographic area. This allows for the proper expansion and contraction of the rail with the seasonal temperature variations. The rail is carefully positioned and seated into the saddle on the new concrete ties. With the new rail in position, the clips fasten the rail to the concrete tie with an elastic fastener clip. With the old rail positioned outside the track structure, it is ready for pickup. The rail pickup train follows the track renewal train and guides the old rail into and along the empty rail cars. The rail cars contain 50 pockets that hold 1,600 feet of rail in each pocket. This allows the train to hold up to 80,000 feet, more than 15 miles of second-hand rail, to be reused or recycled. Then a crane with a magnet follows to pick up any metal materials left behind. All materials are sorted, with usable materials being recycled. With all the new material installed and all of the old material removed, we begin the process of bringing the new track up to standards. In crossing areas, a ballast undercutter removes and recycles all the old ballast. The ballast is cleaned by removing any foreign material and returned to the roadbed.
The undercutter is used to clean the ballast for better drainage in areas such as road crossings.
All dirt and other fine matter is either hauled away or used to build and maintain the right-of-way road. The reclaimed ballast and any required new ballast is evenly distributed and used to raise and line the track. Tampers utilize computers, lights, and lasers to accurately align the track. Ballast regulators are then used to move rock and return the track to Union Pacific standards. Since the TRT typically renews nearly 2 miles of track per day, the actual construction in or near most communities typically lasts only a few days. Depending on the miles of track to be rebuilt, the presence of personnel and support vehicles in and about the community may continue for weeks or months. Union Pacific Railroad strives to be a good neighbor in the communities it serves. Maintaining its track structures to the highest industry standards minimizes train delays and provides a safer operating environment for both Union Pacific and our neighboring communities.